Hello and welcome to the November 6th, 2023 episode of Nick's News. I am your host, Nick, brought to you by Some Budget Studios. That's right, there's some budget for this. I have started to pay into this magical thing that I've been doing every other week. We are on every other Sunday normally. I know we've been on Mondays back-to-back, but normally we're on every other Sunday, and I thank you all so much for tuning in or catching the replay on the Facebook page. That's right, we're here on Facebook Meta, whatever the hell it's called this week. We are still in the process of setting up the Nick's News YouTube page, where you will be able to find all of our videos, all of our shorts, all sorts of little fun things, as well as, you know, the replays of the episodes, if you want to go and scroll back through the news. So there's some bangers in there for sure. This is a program dedicated to bringing some good news to counter all of the bad news that we are bombarded with on a daily basis, with the hope of bringing a bit of joy back to the world. Several of our articles are pulled from goodnewsnetwork.org, but we do appreciate articles sent in by you, the viewers. So hello, everybody. Sean is still with us, even though the truck whacked him pretty good. Back to work as of Saturday. Congratulations, Sean. That is fantastic. That is really good to hear. Oop, gotta fix that real quick. So yeah, that is very neat. I'm glad you're doing all right. Let's see, what have we got? Hey, Tim. Oh, my phone's going off for some reason. I cannot work on that. So. All right, what have we got for our news brew? I have been looking forward to this beer ever since I picked it up a few weeks ago from Rishi's International Beverage. Without a doubt, one of my favorite places to go and get beer. This was kind of an expensive one, so I wanted to save it for a Nick's News. And the title pretty much speaks for itself. So this bottle is simply called Barrel Aged American Imperial Stout. Now, something's telling me I might have gotten that wrong on my fill out. And I am going to check that real quick. I'm suddenly worried that I need to edit that name. Which, yep, I did write down the wrong name. Barrel Aged American Imperial Stout. Well, luckily I can update these, and it updates them on the Facebook page. So there we go. All right, so yeah, barrel-aged American Imperial Stout, and this is a collaboration between one of my favorite breweries in the world, Untitled Art, and Stitchdown, which I believe is a company that makes shoes. So it's an interesting collab. I'm looking forward to it. The collab was for Boot Camp 2023, Stitchdown's 2023 Boot Camp. I'm not 100% sure on what all of that is, but it is a pretty cool collab, and everything I've heard about this beer has been phenomenal. So we have the Battle Song bottle opener, and we are going to crack this sucker open. Right away, the smell just knocked me almost out of this chair. That is a very strong stout. So this is 15.7% high octane ABV beer. Smells amazing. We've got one of our Dragon's Milk Triple Mash Tico glasses. And let's see what we got here. The theatrics of a 5-minute pour. Hey, Cassidy. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about the Winter Oberon. Oh, that's what I was going to do, was the Winter Oberon. I even saw it today in Meijer. I had to go to Meijer to pick up foodstuffs to make sloppy joes tonight, and I totally forgot to pick up just a pack of Oberon Winter. I will write a to-do note for myself after this episode, or I'll go back through the chat, and I will make a note that I need to go pick up Oberon Winter, so... We've got our nice glass, though, of Stitchdown. All right, what have we got for our shout-out? So, yesterday was my brother's 36th birthday. Chris, happy birthday to you, brother. I love you so much. from what it sounded like it was a great day. I hope it was. And all the best to you, brother. Cassidy, one of our frequent watchers and a good news provider, has a cat named Artemis that has kind of been feeling a bit down as of late. It appears, though, that Artemis is on the mend, so this shout-out is to Artemis. Though you're not out of the woods yet, we are wishing you the best and hope for a speedy recovery. And the last shout-out is to Sean, who is another frequent watcher, captain of the Derailment Club, and is with us right now in the chat. Sean is also on the mend following a terrible accident involving the bus he drives and an 18-wheeler. The wounds he incurred are healing well. He gave me a few updates last week, and I was very appreciative to see them. And again, wishing you the best, Sean, on your recovery. Good to see you're already back at work, providing public transportation. So, to everybody, to my brother, to Artemis the cat, and to Sean, cheers. Oh my gosh. Oh, I just realized why it looks so dark over here. I didn't turn the light ring on. I keep looking at my screen like, something looks weird. It's because the damn light ring wasn't on. This beer is going to knock me on my ass. That's probably a guarantee that this beer is going to take me out. This is strong. Oh, man. Oh, what else? So, news quote. So, I had to do not full 18, just the tractor. Trailer would have meant more weight, and the fact that Buddy worked for a steel transport company. Damned lucky. Well, Sean, hey, it was an accident between a truck and a semi. So, or not a truck and a bus and a semi. I'm just glad you're okay, man. We can argue the semantics of the vehicles involved in the accident later. I'm just glad you're all right. News quote. I had to do some digging for a news quote. I wasn't finding any good ones until I spotted this one. And though could be a little bit questionable with the provider of the quote, and I just noticed another mess up. Gosh, my news quote. I messed up a parenthesis. Gosh, I'm all over the place tonight. All right, that should update for Facebook, so it won't have so many problems. Still got the double text problem going on, which I'm so not a fan of. I haven't been able to hunt down why it's been doing double text for me, but whatever. So, news quote. If you go looking for a friend, you're going to find they're very scarce. If you go out to be a friend, you'll find them everywhere. That quote is from Hillary Hinton Ziegler, also known as Zig Ziglar, who is an American author, salesman, and a motivational speaker. And I thought that quote was really good. The world is full of people. That's an understatement. But the way I look at it, oftentimes when we go out looking for something, we don't find it. But when we are that something, there's an abundance around us. So I thought that fit really well. If you go looking for a friend, you're going to find they're scarce. Or find they're very scarce. If you go out to be a friend, you'll find them everywhere. I really like that. If you go looking for a fight, you'll catch monster mittens. So thank you very much, Hillary Hinton Ziegler, also known as Zig Ziglar, for teaching us to go out to be a friend, and you will find plenty. Cheers. A bug update. I don't have much to report for the bugverse. All is well. The population controls that I put into place for the inevitable coming of a breed of roaches, or a brood of roaches. One of the female roaches did give birth, but the numbers have been kept low because of the population controls that I have going on in the tank. I haven't had to intervene in any way, so it's working. Next round of darkling beetles that I have are progressing very nicely. The camera can't catch them, but they are down here right now in all these little tanks. Yeah, they're doing really well and pupating, so I'll have more darkling beetles soon, which are always fun to take care of. Hopefully it all stays quiet. The cricket was chirping a little bit earlier, but he hasn't started back up since. I know he's not dead, though. I am on the lookout for a specific addition to my Bugverse, but it's been hard because they're not in stock very often, so we'll keep watching and see if we can pick up a new edition that is just a straight-up cricket destroyer. So, fingers crossed. Oh, thank you, Austin, for the shout-out for my brother. All right. Well, if there ain't anything else, we can get into our good news. No, not a bearded dragon. It is another arthropod. I will say it's an arthropod, so that narrows it down only a little bit. But I'm not allowed to get a spider, so it can't be a spider. Something else, though. So our broadcast is broken up into 4 categories, and those 4 categories are science and technology, health and medicine, flora and fauna, aka plants and animals, and we'll end on the 4th category, the wholesome notes, those really nice articles that bring us the feels and are good to end on. So we are going to start with category 1, science and technology. This first one I found, I called it Post-Frack, New Purpose for the Crack. And I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along with me. After fracking is halted, the site's drill hole is now a source of clean geothermal energy. No, Austin. I almost thought that was Sean. No, Austin. Ashley despises spiders, so I am not allowed to get a spider. So, after fracking is halted, the site's drill hole is now a source for clean geothermal energy. In England's North Yorkshire, locals opposed a fracking project vigorously enough to get the whole thing cancelled. But the almost 2-mile-deep borehole had already been made. Rather than simply letting it lie as an ugly testament to the picket line, Third Energy converted it into a geothermal heating station prototype that could heat 300 homes in the village of Kirby Misperton if commercially developed. Every 3,000 feet or so one drills down into the earth, the rock warms by 54 degrees Fahrenheit or thereabouts. That's right, we're sticking to freedom units. At 2 miles, the rock is very hot, and Third Energy can pump water to those depths to heat it up naturally before drawing it back up to the surface and using it to power home radiators and water heaters. In volcanically active regions, supercritical water or steam can power turbines to generate electricity. Britain has power stations like this, but in the case of Kirby Misperton, it's just heating homes and water taps. However, it's doing so in a more environmentally friendly way than channeling gas or using electric ventilation and heating oil. When water is used in homes and loses its heat, it's pumped back down on the bowels of the back down to the bowels of the earth to reheat, where that force then brings the already heated water to the surface in a cycle that requires almost no electricity. When we were campaigning, we had to say what the solution was, said Steve Mason, then head of anti-fracking group Frack Free United, and now director of Third Energy. You can't just say no all the time. We need to be telling people this can be done, and this is a solution. Years of European governments hounding fossil fuel companies with regulations and promises that they will be replaced by renewable energy has driven the price of home heating on the continent, and in Britain, incredibly high. The war in Ukraine and the destruction of the Nord Stream 2 pipeline didn't help either. Yet despite this, Third Energy's managing director, Russell Howe, doesn't see his firm going back to natural gas or the prices they're now commanding. I think once you've seen what the potential is and you see people in the community come and feel the radiator and see the excitement, there's no interest in companies going back to fossil fuels, Howe told Sky News. Per Sky News, there are 680 wells drilled for fossil fuels in Britain that could be converted into these geothermal heating stations. It has recently been discovered that deep in Britain's network of abandoned coal mines, water has been heated to usable temperatures by the Earth's core, and it too can be utilized in home heat pumps. One such project is already heating a host of commercial real estate and 350 apartments in the town of Gateshead. So that's pretty slick. Canceled a fracking project and got it transformed into a new prototype for geothermal heating. Fantastic. I'm happy with that. To Third Energy, cheers. I probably could have called it OFRAC. I'll stick with what I did. What did I do? I called this next one A Different Kind of French Revolution. What was that? Some sort of fly came in. Alright, A Different Kind of French Revolution. And I will post this one in the chat if y'all want to read along. Actual title: French company discovers massive reserve of clean hydrogen gas that could start a renewable revolution. And the French know a thing or two about revolutions. The jokes just keep on coming. Millions of tons of pure hydrogen have been found underneath the earth in northern France, prompting interest in a renewable gold rush of the rarest kind. Sean, that would have been another good one. Despite being the most abundant element in the universe, hydrogen is almost always attached to something else. Oxygen, for example. Deep underground, geologic forces can create sometimes massive pockets of hydrogen gas that, if extracted like shale gas, can be burned to power airplanes, trains, heavy machinery, and steel production, all with the only direct emission being water. That's right, when you combust things utilizing hydrogen, you end up with water as your emission, so it is interestingly effective. The story that is now sweeping international energy headlines began when Jacques Piranon and Philippe de Donato, directors of research at France's National Center of Scientific Research, were out assessing methane stores using a state-of-the-art probe in France's Lorraine Basin. They realized they had reached a previously unknown hydrogen gas deposit when readings from the probe showed 20% hydrogen at 3,300 feet, or 1,100 meters, down, much higher than they would ever imagine finding in normal conditions. CNN broke down the rainbow of colors used to describe hydrogen fuels. Brown hydrogen is produced from coal operations, so little climate-friendly value there. However, green hydrogen is made through electrolysis, or water splitting, and powered by renewable energy. Yet this kind of production is small-time and expensive. Lou was low. Pump it into the fracking holes. 2 birds, 1 stone. Still, at the moment, pure hydrogen is the best hypothetical solution for heavy machinery that requires high-octane fuels for long-distance transportation. That's why interest in geologic hydrogen, like the kind found in France, known as both white and gold hydrogen, can reach feverish intensity. Just look at Mali. In 1987, in the village of, we are gonna butcher the hell out of this. All right, y'all, say this one with me. Bureki Boju. I don't even know. I apologize to anybody who is part of that village of Bureki Boju. Dang. Type it? I don't wanna. I'll copy and paste it into the chat. It's rough. I'll tell you that much. "1,000 revolutions per minute, French people at idle." Oh, Austin, I love it. So, in this village in 1987, a driller was left with burns after a water well unexpectedly exploded as he leaned over the edge of it while smoking a cigarette, reported CNN. The well was capped until 2012 when a villager entrepreneur hired Chapman Petroleum to come and investigate the strange gas, which in the daytime shone with a blue color like sparkling ocean water, and at night like golden dust. Oh, Eliza might have a translation for us here. Sean with a French translation as well, because Sean is brutally French. Well, he's Canadian. It's close. Eliza says, Boraki Bugu? Borake Bugu? Shots fired! Boraki Buj. Oh no, we got a fight going on now. Buju. Oh, so it would be. You're taking a sip of beer. Boraki Buju. All right, Boraki Buju. We'll go with that. Thank you both very much. So the village of Boraki Buju. Today, Boraki Buju is powered entirely by the hydrogen in this deposit, which has a purity of 98%, the highest ever recorded. Geoffrey Ellis, a geochemist with the U.S. Geological Survey, has been studying hydrogen deposits ever since the discovery in Boraki Buju, but remained convinced that finding extractable deposits on land and shallow enough to reach was going to be almost impossible. Following a paper published on the Boraki Buju site in 2018, I keep saying what I'm saying. Scientists and entrepreneurs rush to try and find deposits and more information about how they form and where best to look for them. Ellis believes, based on estimates, that there are tens of billions of tons of white hydrogen out there. Most of this is almost certainly going to be in very small accumulations or very far offshore, or just too deep to actually be economic to produce, he told CNN. But if just 1% can be found and produced, it would provide 500 million tons of hydrogen for 200 years, he added. In France's Lorraine Basin, once a hotbed for European coal mining, De Donato and Piranon are preparing to drill down to 3,000 meters, or more than 2 miles in freedom units underground, and assess the potential for white hydrogen extraction, specifically to find out how much there is. They already estimate that at a depth that the purity could be as high as the wells in Mali. The two are working alongside the energy company La Française de l'Énergie, FDE, which has existing wells, equipment, and operational licenses across a wide area of land in the Lorraine Basin's Grand Est region. The company has already submitted an application for exclusive rights to use their shale gas wells to extract the white hydrogen if it is there, meaning it's possible no new mining pits need to be dug. Well, that's fantastic that we might be able to have a clean power renewable revolution thanks to the French. To everybody involved in the search and discovery of white and gold hydrogen, cheers. Clean. All right, what did I call this now? Oh, so that's going to actually get us out of our first category. We're going to go into our second category, health and medicine. I have a lot of friends that suffer from migraines. And though I do not, I feel for you. And seeing a few of you go through these things is its own kind of, it's nowhere near the pain that you are experiencing through a migraine, but it is telling to see the signs of one. So I called this next one Finding the Matches for Migraines, and I will copy and paste this in the chat for y'all to read along if y'all want to. Large study of 80,000 migraine sufferers uncovers commonalities that may lead to potential treatment. Viva la revolution. All right, thank you, Austin. That was the parting gift for that article. I got to remember there's a lag. Migraine sufferers have been offered fresh hope after research discovered potential new ways of treating the debilitating headaches. Around 1 in 5 women, 1 in 16 men, and 1 in 11 children have regular migraines, which attacks 3 times more prevalent in women. Now, an international study of the genetics of migraine has provided new insights into the biology behind the attacks. Scientists say it will enable detection of rare variants protecting against migraine, opening an avenue for the potential development of new drugs to treat the problem. Jeez. Yeah, I see you on that one, Sean. An international team of researchers led by Decode Genetics in Iceland analyzed genetic data from more than 1.3 million participants, of which 80,000 had migraines. The scientists focused on detecting sequence variants associated with the 2 main subtypes of migraines: migraine with aura, often referred to as a classical migraine, and migraine without aura. The results highlight several genes that affect one of the migraine subtypes over the other, pointing to new biological pathways that could be targeted for therapeutic developments. Although recent advances have been made in studies of the genetics and underlying biology of migraines, and new treatments recently developed that are effective for many migraine sufferers, they do not work for all types of migraines. The study, published in the journal Nature Genetics, and this article came out on October 26th, discovered associations with 44 variants, 12 of which were brand new. Importantly, a rare variant pointing to the KCNK5 gene confers large protection against severe migraines and brain aneurysms, either identifying a common pathway between the 2 diseases or suggesting that some cases of early brain aneurysms may be misclassified as migraines. 4 novel migraine with aura associations were revealed, and 13 variants associated primarily with migraine without aura, explained Professor Carrie Stephenson. Of particular interest were 3 rare variants with large effects pointing to distinct pathologies underlying different types of migraines. Thus, a rare frameshift variant in the PRRT2 gene confers a large risk of migraines with aura, and with another brain disease, epilepsy, but not migraine without aura. So, they're starting to break up what is causing migraine with aura, or what caused migraine without aura, and that's obviously the best step first, is to differentiate what the heck is attacking what or causing what. So. In SCN11A, a gene known to play a key role in pain sensation, the scientists detected several rare loss-of-function variants associated with protection effects against migraine, while a common missense variant in the same gene is associated with modest risk of migraine. So it looks like, going through the genetics of 1.3 million people, 80,000 of which suffer from migraines, is helping to point out those genetic differences that could be causing this. How are we going to fix that? It's a good question. What makes our study unique is that it includes a large data set from sequenced individuals, enabling detection of rare variants, protecting against migraines. So those genetic sequences that protect against migraine, like what's the difference? Who has these genes that protect against it? Who's lacking them, so they're getting attacked by migraines? It's potentially opening an avenue for development of novel drug targets, said the professor and CEO of Decode Genetics. So this could be a chance for using CRISPR. This could be a chance for using different DNA editing. This could be an opportunity for just targeted therapies that can repair or provide that protection to reduce or hopefully knock out migraines entirely in people. So it's really early stuff. I'm hoping that down the road we'll get another health and medicine article that shows that this is going to good use and we can get some cures for everybody suffering from migraines out of there. So to decode, and Professor Carrie Stephenson and her team trying to find causes and solutions to migraines. Cheers. Camera flash, full in the eyes. Oh. I don't know which one that is, Sean. I don't suffer. Sadly, I don't suffer. Well, I mean, not sadly. I mean, I don't suffer from migraines, so I haven't had it classified myself. So I'm not sure which one you get hit with. And that is another one, Eliza. Yep, being able to target epilepsy, because that is another super destructive one. I do like that did you intentionally misspell hallucination to be hallucination? Because if you didn't, it's still great. I really dig hallucinations. All right, what do we got next? Ah, yes. Cancer. Fuck cancer. And I will post this one in the chat if y'all want to read along. Cervical cancer trial hailed as remarkable after a 35% reduced death rate using a simple intervention. Sometimes the best drug for a disease is one that's already on the shelf, and that was the finding of a British cervical cancer trial that looked to see if a chemotherapy drug given at a specific time could increase survival rates. Indeed it could, with the 35% reduction in mortality rate hailed as remarkable by Cancer Research UK, which funded the trial presented at the recent ESMO Medical Conference in Madrid. Not nearly as prevalent as a risk as breast cancer, around 14,000 cases of cervical cancer will be diagnosed this year in the U.S., according to estimates from the American Cancer Society. In the trial of 500 female patients aged between 26 and 72, the scientists randomized them into two groups that received either chemoradiation therapy alone or induction chemotherapy with a combination of the chemo drugs carboplatin and paclitaxel, followed by the same chemoradiation therapy in week 7. Timing is everything when you're treating cancer, said Dr. Ian Fox from Cancer Research UK in a statement. A growing body of evidence is showing the value of additional rounds of chemotherapy before other treatments like surgery and radiotherapy in several other cancers. Not only can it reduce the chances of cancer coming back, it can be delivered quickly using drugs already available worldwide. At the end of the 5-year follow-up, 80% of the women who received the combination chemo-drug radiotherapy were still alive, and in 73%, the cancer had not returned. The conclusion of the trial was a bold one, that this combination of drugs and chemoradiation therapy should be established as the new standard of treatment. Dr. Mary McCormick, lead investigator of the trial from University College London Cancer Institute, said that this was the biggest improvement in survival and remission outcomes in this disease seen in the 21st century. So this one made waves with having this 35% reduction of the death rate to cervical cancer. This was huge. Well, I mean, they're covering their bases, Sean. You never know. The important thing here is that if patients are alive and well without the cancer recurring at 5 years, then they are very likely to be cured. So that's what makes this very exciting, McCormick told the BBC. Man, I hope I can get paid by the word. I can flub some sentences here. Well, that is really cool to everybody involved in this study that was able to find a 35% reduction of the death rate to cervical cancer through a novel treatment, and what may become the new gold standard of treatment for cervical cancer. Cheers, and fuck cancer. Gotta top this beer off. Oh. Accurate, Sean. Very accurate. I try to present anything that I talk about in engineering terms, though. I try to explain in terms that, like, if someone was to explain it to me, having no engineering experience whatsoever, I really do strive to not be that guy who's all like, mumbo jumbo. And somebody that I'm talking to is like, screw you and the degree you went and got. So, like, I would never call it, I know, no, I do not try to dumb it down. I try to find different ways of explaining it, which is wildly different. Dumbing it down is like, I just don't like that term and that the way that people go about dumbing things down. There are other ways to explain what you do or something that you've pulled off, you know. Oh, god damn it. He got me again. All right, we're getting into our next article. We are going to get out of second category, health and medicine. We are going to move into third category, flora and fauna, aka plants and animals. And this first article comes from Cassidy. Thank you very much for this one, Cassidy. Ashley, my girlfriend, wanted to call it Concrete Rose. I was supposed to look up the context. I didn't. I feel bad. But yeah, Concrete Rose. I will post it here in the chat for y'all to read along. Flower thought to be extinct, suddenly found growing in the road. A conservation manager made the discovery of a lifetime when he took a picture of what he thought to be a common fynbos species, a flower in the Moray genus, in August of 2022. The flower turned out to be a Moray minima, also known as the mini galaxy flower. That sounds amazing. Which was last seen over 40 years ago and thought to be extinct, according to a report by the nonprofit Nuajar's Wetland Special Management Area, the NWSMA. Species are going extinct in modern times at 1,000 to 10,000 times faster than the natural rate, according to the World Wildlife Fund, and human beings are largely to blame. The International Union for Conservation of Nature, the IUCN, lists more than 40,000 species as threatened, with more than 9,000 species considered critically endangered. The mini galaxy flower was feared to be extinct until Eugene Handick, a conservation manager with the NWSMA, stumbled across the flower growing in the middle of the road near Africa's southern tip in August of 2022. Jeez. At the time, Handick didn't know he'd rediscovered a flower long sought by scientists. He posted the photo on iNaturalist, an app used by citizen scientists. This year, the photo drew the attention of scientist John Manning. Manning recognized the flower as the endangered mini galaxy and informed the custodians of rare and endangered wildflowers, or CREW, of the photo. In July, a CREW team searched the site of the flower hoping to find it and conduct research. Unfortunately, they were unsuccessful. However, when they returned in August, they found the flower in a new location. It seems that this special species is difficult to find because it's quite finicky, Handick said after the discovery, according to the report. What we found is that it only flowers in spring for a few hours after it has rained. Then the flowers disappear until the following rains come. The other challenge is that these plants seem to often grow in slightly precarious spaces. For example, road verge or in the middle of a road. So it's basically like Africa's version of dandelions, just growing out of concrete. But unlike the dandelion that just doesn't stop coming back throughout the entire year, this thing is like, okay, it's raining, hi, oh, it stopped raining, bye, see you next year, and then just pieces out. That's fantastic. So this is why we need to know where they are and plan on how to protect them. Handick told Newsweek that the flowering occurs in August. For the rest of the year, the flowers are difficult to identify. Now that NWSMA is aware of the flower's location, it plans to work the species into its conservation efforts by clearing invasive species and creating fire management plans. You know, I'm not sure on that one, Sean. It's not only about protecting the one species, but about protecting the habitat in which it occurs. Roads? I don't think those need much protection. Which in this instance is critically endangered western Runes shale Renosterveld and endangered Elim ferrocrete finboss. I'm not a geologist, Handick said. We've also informed the landowners of the species and where they occur to ensure they're aware of how special these are. The discovery comes as the Endangered Species Act officially delisted 21 species earlier this month because of extinction. Crap. That's not good. I was hoping that was going to be in the opposite direction. Various other species believed to be extinct have recently been rediscovered as well, including the Ilex sapiformis tree in Brazil, the houting, a whitefish species in the North Sea. The rediscovery illustrates the value of regular monitoring and encouraging people to participate in programs like Crew and post their findings on iNaturalist, Crew project manager Ismail Ibrahim said in the New Year's report. This is a critical step for understanding the exceptionally special plants we have and what steps have to be taken to conserve the species. Since the research for the flower began, the Crew and NWSMA teams have identified 2 populations of the flower, which was last officially seen in 1981. To Mr. Handick, everybody at Cruise and everybody at the NWSMA for finding a flower that was thought to be extinct. And thank you, Cassidy, for sending in the article. Cheers. Nature finds a way. The John Cena of flowers. I just caught that. Just imagine this flower like holding up a leaf and just being like, and then it just disappears. But then when it returns, da 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 da, mini galaxy flower hits the scene. I love it. Oh, I think Cassidy sent in this next one as well. Yep, she did. And I, once again, need to make an edit. Hopefully it will let me edit it this late into the stream. I did not properly credit Cassidy with sending this one in. I am so sorry. I am all over the place on this next news. There we go. Let me update. Let me see if it'll let me update. All right, it says it updated it successfully. This next one's adorable. I called this one a helping paw. But I will copy and paste it in the chat if y'all want to read along. Actual title of this one: Family saw kittens inside that didn't belong to them. Discovered they've been brought in through the pet entrance. A family found kittens in their house, but they didn't belong to them. As it turned out, they had been brought in through the dog entrance. A trio of kittens found their way into a family's home through an unexpected series of events with the help of a canine friend. These babies may not have made it without a very special finder, a family dog, who discovered one of the kittens and brought it in through the dog door one day. Mary Huckabee, an officer of Coastal Bend Cat Rescue, CBCR, shared with Love Meow. The dog's owner was perplexed and didn't know what to do. But the sweet pup wasn't done and brought in a second kitten shortly. The arrival of the kittens prompted an investigation outside the house. As they scanned the area, searching for any signs of a mother cat and other kittens, they were drawn to the wails of a third kitten in their yard. No trace of the mother cat could be found, but all 3 kittens made it safely inside the house. The family reached out to their local rescue, CBCR, and hoped to get the kittens the care they needed and ultimately a place to call home. As they awaited placement in the rescue's foster program, the dog's owner dedicated herself to nurturing and caring for the kittens. She kept them fed with a mixture of formula and wet food until we could take them in, Mary told Love Meow. She did such a good job of caring for them that they're starting their journey with us healthy and happy. The trio, named Peter Pan, Wendy, and Tinkerbell, bounded into their foster home, their voracious appetites already hinting at their unbridled energy. They were very protective over food after having experienced the harsh realities of food scarcity in the outdoors. They dashed towards their dishes, pushing each other out of the way for their grub. No longer burdened by the anxiety of finding their next meal, they began to revel in the abundance of food available to them, their playful energy soaring to new heights. The little tornadoes of fur tear through their room, their paws pitter-pattering across the floor. Their rambunctious spirits transform every object into a playground. Peter loves to follow people around. Tinkerbell is the most adventurous and nosy, and Wendy is the daredevil and loves to climb and find trouble. When the venturesome sisters embark on their daily escapade, Peter Pan shadows his human companions, his keen eyes taking in their very move with feline inquisitiveness. The once stray kittens have blossomed into playful, affectionate, endearing young cats, each with a unique spark that ignites laughter and delight. Through the kindness of a family and a canine friend, the 3 kittens have found refuge and are now on a path towards finding their forever homes. Soon it will be time for them to head towards the second star to the right and straight on till adoption. They are adorable little love bugs. We know even Peter Pan will be excited to finally be adopted and have a real mother, Mary shared. Sometimes rescues take some faith, a pup, and pixie dust. That is absolutely adorable. To the rando dog that found 2 out of 3 kittens and carried them to safety and allowed for the third one to be found, and to Coastal Bend Cat Rescue and everybody involved in taking care of Peter Pan, Wendy, and Tinkerbell. Cheers. And thank you, Cassidy, for the article. Double cheers. That was adorable. And this next one comes from Julie. Julie, thank you very much for sending this one in. I called it a buzzing comfort, but I will copy and paste it in the chat for y'all to read along with me. Rescuers see chimp has something yellow on her head and can't believe who it is. September was rescued back in 2002 after being kept in a cage in someone's backyard. She now lives at the Save the Chimps Sanctuary and has lots of room to play, learn, and be herself. Her caregivers learn more about her every day, including her unique favorite pastime. September has been at the sanctuary for 2 decades now, but late last year she started doing something new. Every time she came inside for meals, her caregivers noticed she had some new friends with her. Bees. Curious, the staffers checked out the security footage, and sure enough, there was September hanging out near some flowers, trying to catch bees. We wondered where she was getting them until one day I witnessed her catch one. Rebecca Muscat, September's care technician, told the dodo. She allows them to crawl across her body and will always gently put them back on her head or in her ear for safekeeping. When she lays down, she watches them crawl across her belly. When they start to wander too far out of reach, she places them back at the top of her body. Having the bees around seems to comfort September. They're like her little emotional support buddies, and her caregivers love to watch her with them every chance they get. The bees are a great example of how chimps are individuals with much more cognitive awareness than we give them credit for, and that's why it's one of my favorite things to talk about, Muscat said. September has always been particularly creative and aware, and her relationship with her bee friends is just the tip of the iceberg of how incredible she is. September is a really amazing, intelligent, and unique chimp, and this is one example of why, Muscat said. It is a druid. That is a druid in disguise, with fuzzy butt stabby hat friends. That is fantastic. Julie, thank you very much. And to September and her little buzzing friends that offer her a bit of comfort. Cheers. All right, time to tank back up for the whole stretch. Because with that, we are going to move out of Category 3, Science and Technology, and we are going to move into Category 4, the Wholesome Notes. Oh, what did I call this first one? I called this first one... What do you mean you didn't see that from Julie? I wrote thanks, Julie, next to it. It should be showing up in my descriptor. It better show up in my descriptor. Yeah, that one's there in the descriptor. I didn't screw that one up. Geez, Sean. Yeah, I haven't seen any, but normally on Monday she doesn't get a chance to see them, so she'll catch the replay and she'll see that we posted her article. So, all right, I called this next one the first of our wholesome notes. I call this next one, well, I would drive 1,600 miles. And I will copy and paste this in the chat for y'all. If y'all want to read along. Man's wedding ring lost in ocean is found, so he drives 1,600 miles to thank the humble metal detectorist in person. A metal detectorist has reunited a man with his diamond wedding ring after uncovering it on a sandy beach. Stefan Seguin lost the ring while swimming on a trip to St. Augustine, Florida. The 40-year-old saw detectorist Joseph Cook out searching the sands and asked him to keep an eye out for his ring. When I lost the ring in the sea, it felt like falling in a dream, said Mr. Stefan, a tinsmith from Quebec City. Jeez, the beer, it's getting to me. We spent every day looking, and then we eventually saw Joseph on the beach. I said to Marie-Eve, I'm not going to tell him where it is, as he'll look for it and keep it. But she went up to him, and he told us if he finds it, he'd return it. Little did they know, Joseph had returned a diamond ring worth $40,000 last year after posting a video about the find. And I wonder if we did that article on Nick's News. It's entirely possible. Oh, Quebec. Thank you. Thank you, resident Canadian. Although the couple returned home to Canada the following week, and Joseph still hadn't uncovered the ring, but the determined hero returned to the spot every day for over a month and eventually found the gold ring. I decided to try one more time, and I wasn't there for more than 4 minutes, and beep, 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 and I knew it was theirs. As soon as he gets a beep, he starts recording video and uploads all his finds to his social media pages. He had told the couple to follow him on his socials, and if he found the keepsake, he'd return it. Just like any other find, Joseph posted it to his social media channels and hoped the couple would see it. Back home, Stefan and Marie-Eve have been watching the videos in the hopes of spotting the ring. I was sure it was going to turn up, said the groom-to-be. The Canadian couple bought it in 2011 to be used as a wedding band, but with life and kids taking priority, they postponed the big day and Stefan started wearing it anyway. When I saw the video of him finding the ring, I knew it was mine, even before he even closed up on it. It was amazing. They sent a message along with a picture of Stefan wearing the ring to prove it was theirs, then traveled 1,600 miles to collect the ring and thank Joseph in person, and they invited him to their wedding. The 38-year-old detectorist and content creator said that of all the returns he'd ever facilitated, these two were the most humble people I've ever met. They thanked me 1,000,000 times and said October is a happy month in their life from now on. That's why I do it. Joseph insisted they not pay him any reward, but they had brought him some gift baskets, took him out for dinner, and gifted him with a ring of his own. The basket had all sorts of things from Quebec and a coffee mug that said, "Help others." It was pretty cool. But for me, it's giving stuff back to the people, added Joseph. A $10 item to somebody could be worth $10,000 in their mind. That is amazing. Well, Stefan got his ring back, and to... what is Joseph's full name? Joseph Cook, metal detectorist Joseph Cook, on another amazing find. Cheers. All right, I called this next one Determination for the Disabled. And I will post this in the chat if y'all want to read along. Selfless quad amputee summits a peak to raise money for other disabled kids. A 10-year-old quadruple amputee is going to attempt to summit a 656-foot mountain to raise money for other children with disabilities. The climber, Luke Mortimer, is determined to summit MC Crag in North Yorkshire. The kind-hearted youngster has dubbed the peak his Everest and is undertaking the challenge as an attempt to return the favor to charities which have helped him. Mortimer was just 7 years old when he contracted the severe bacterial infections meningococcal meningitis and septicemia. Although he survived the deadly illness, he lost all his limbs and needed 23 painful surgeries over a 10-week period to replace missing skin and address his wounds. Ever since his family moved near the MC area in 2019, the plucky lad has had ambitions to summit the nearby crag, which he can see from the garden of his rural home. This Saturday, November 4th, we're going to have to look and find out if he did it. So on Saturday, he was going to attempt the grueling trek in aid of amputee charity Limb Power and the BBC's Children in Need. There's a donation link attached, after appearing on its show last year. When we moved here, we were going down the road to MC, and I just saw the crag, and I said, "Mom, Dad, one day can we climb it?" said Mortimer. "It's been a few years now, but I feel very determined about getting to the top and back down. I think the worst thing that can happen is probably rain." Luke's dad, Adam Mortimer, admitted the steep 2-mile journey to the top of the summit and back would be a tough challenge for his intrepid son. But he said Luke was intent on reaching the peak himself and would be wearing a set of shortened knee-length prosthetics called stubbies for the climb. "It will take as long as it takes. We don't have a set time because I don't want to put him under any pressure," says Mr. Mortimer. "It's just going to be at Luke's pace, up and back down." Charities and fundraisers set up in the wake of the amputations managed over £15,000 or $18,000 worth of donations from an army of well-wishers, allowing him to get a suite of prosthetics that he used in rehabilitation. They also paid for his first robotic arm so he could do more for himself. Volunteer organization Band of Builders later helped his dad Adam fit the bungalow where Luke lives with a remarkable range of adaptations, which were unveiled on September 3rd this year. Luke's challenge will begin from a parking lot at the MC Reservoir at 10 a.m. on Saturday, where cakes and refreshments will be sold for charity prior to the ascent. "There's a few people that have said they'll come along. It's kind of an open invitation," said Adam. "We've done it at his school. We've put it online." Simon Antrobus, chief executive at BBC Children in Need, wished Luke the best of luck for the fundraising initiative. "We would like to extend our enormous thanks to Luke for taking on such an inspiring challenge and for choosing BBC Children in Need as one of the charities to benefit from his fundraising," he said. "We wish him lots of luck for next weekend and cannot wait to see how he gets on." And I see a post. We are going to Go over to this. Can I copy this out of this chat? Are you kidding me? I can't? Oh, can I drag and drop it? I can drag and drop it. All right. All right, we're moving on to the other. Eliza said he did it. Quad amputee, 10 years old, climbs mountain and raises thousands for disabled kids. We have a follow-up, boys and girls. All right. A boy who survived deadly illnesses and had all 4 limbs amputated has achieved a huge feat to raise money for charity. This is awesome. Luke Mortimer was just 7 when he contracted meningococcal meningitis and septicemia and underwent 23 surgeries during his 10-week stint in the hospital. All 4 of his limbs had to be amputated, and in 2019 he and his family moved to a bungalow near Skipton, which volunteer group Band of Builders helped adapt for him. Since their move, Luke has had ambitions to climb a nearby crag visible from his garden, and after initially hoping to raise 500 pounds, he's absolutely smashed his target. He climbed the 656-foot MC Crag on Saturday, and he's since raised more than 12,000 pounds for charities Limb Power and BBC Children in Need. Speaking after the climb, Luke said, "It was tough, but I felt on top of the world. I'm really happy, and as well as that, I'm also pretty shocked. I thought we'd just get to 500 pounds. Next minute, we're at over 11,000. At the top, I told everybody, I want you to shout, 'We've cracked the crag,' and we all shouted it. It was tiring and tough, but when I got to the top, I was very proud of myself. Everyone was really kind for coming out to support me." Luke hiked alongside 40 hikers who traveled from across the UK to climb the peak with him. His dad, Adam, 49, described his son's efforts as a massive achievement, adding, "We had some people who had seen the challenge on the news and had come from Sheffield and Chesterfield. We did it in a little over 2 hours, which was pretty good going. It was a massive achievement to get up. Luke was super proud. It was brilliant." For Luke, this is a huge thing. It's above a normal walk for even me, so for Luke, it's quite a tough challenge. It is kind of his Everest. If you just did it purely on his stride, it's half of anybody else's. So it's almost like if I'm walking a mile, he's walking 2. It was great to get over 10,000 pounds. A big thank you to all the people who came out and supported us and donated to us. It really meant a lot. And there is a link to support Luke's fundraiser. The fundraiser is going to, what did he choose again? I'm sorry. The Band of Builders. Wait, was it to Band of Builders? No, sorry. It was to Limb Power and BBC's Children in Need. Luke Mortimer, congratulations on summiting your Everest and raising money along the way. Cheers. I'm not crying. You're crying. If Luke Mortimer does Everest summits Everest, we're going to have to follow that up. Hopefully I'm doing this in another 13 years when he might when he'll be 23 and just decide, I'm a quadruple amputee, I'm going to go climb Everest. Hopefully we're still doing Nick's News. So we are at our last article for the night. I called this one, what did I call this one? We Can Rebuild. Actual title of this one, well, I'll copy and paste it in the chat for y'all to read along. I'm kind of wishing I had done Luke Mortimer's article now for the finale, but hey, that's all right. We'll finish with this one. When builders in Maui constructed tiny homes for a man's family, it grew into a crowd-funded rehousing project. With the way news cycles work, it's easy to realize that some things have fallen through the cracks and we aren't hearing about any efforts being done around the world to help out places in need. With so much insanity happening on almost a daily basis at this point. So we need to be reminded that Lahaina in Hawaii had some devastating fires sweep through, which displaced hundreds of people, if not thousands, destroyed homes and businesses. And there are groups out there, though, that are still working hard to bring some hope back to the people of Lahaina, and this was one of them. So I thought this was a really good article as a good reminder of what's going on out in the world and the good that there is out there. So yeah, when builders in Maui constructed tiny homes for a man's family, it grew into a crowd-funded rehousing project. Buried under the 24-hour news cycles of the last few months, recovery in Lahaina is progressing, one tiny house at a time. William Fincher, an owner of 2 restaurants in the historic Maui town, which tragically burned down in August, is receiving help from neighbors and friends to build a pair of tiny homes for his family of a wife, 2 kids, and 2 dogs. Fincher lost both restaurants and his home in the fires, but within 3 or 4 days, local builder Juan Ricci was ordering materials to help the Fincher family construct the tiny houses. He did it all from his own pocket until the build team, including Fincher, Ricci, and some more friends, had to set up a GoFundMe to look for the money. Javier Barberi, a close friend, told Good Morning America in no uncertain terms that Fincher was Lahaina through and through, and he simply had to stay in order to help rebuild and recover the spirit of the town. Barberi gave Fincher space on his land to build. With Barberi's help and Ricci's instruction, the tiny homes started coming together. Fincher knew a bit about woodshop, but laying insulation, framing doors, and roofing were all skills he didn't have. Ricci and his workers provided free labor and instruction. Ricci started building these homes out of the goodness of his own heart and paying everything out of pocket. He trusts that the money will come, writes volunteer Andreas Alfaro on the GoFundMe's page, which has so far raised $13,000 of its goal of $100,000. What started as a few guys coming together to support their neighbor in Fincher has turned into a bold grassroots effort to raise money to build small long-term homes for displaced residents and pay locals who lost their jobs in the fires to do it, with Ricci providing on-the-job training from 20 years' experience building on Hawaii. Lahaina is the best place in the world without a doubt, and now it's still there, said Fincher. Oh, Lily, that's okay. You made it. That's what mattered. Sean, yes, walking it back to Luke Mortimer, he did. Discovered a reason. And yeah, that is a good quote. Man, I should have proposed that as a news quote for the next one, Eliza. I would have taken that. Mr. Rogers' quotes are amazing. Look for the helpers. Well, here they are, helping to rebuild in Lahaina, one tiny home at a time. So to everybody involved in the efforts to repair and rebuild Lahaina and help the people who were displaced and lost so much, to all of you, cheers. For Maui, I apologize, yes, for Maui in general and all the helpers. Well, that's about it for the night. I feel bad, Lily. You came in and here we are wrapping things up, but that's the way it goes, especially on these Mondays. But hopefully we're not going to be doing Mondays. Hopefully we will be back to our regularly scheduled Sundays. So yeah. Oh, Lily, I'm sorry. I do thank you all again for tuning in or catching the replay on the Knicks News Facebook page and soon to come the Knicks News YouTube page. We will be having all of our videos posted there as well. I'm also getting Some Budget Studios is also putting in for an external hard drive so that I can have another backup spot. Right now I'm backing all these up on my laptop, and I do not want to risk losing them, so I'm going to be buying a very large storage, external storage, to start saving these, because each of these videos is a couple gigs easily, so... yeah. Oh, that's weird. I'm sorry to hear that, Lily. I don't know how Facebook does its algorithm. I don't know how the algorithms work. I'm still getting into all of that, so I'm sorry, though. I might have to... Oh, I'm looking for bigger than a terabyte, Eliza. I'm looking for much bigger than a 1 terabyte, so... Man, that's really weird. Why does Facebook not like me? Oh well, we'll have to fix that. We'll work out a notification system somehow. So yeah, we're live usually every other Sunday, and our next episode will be on Sunday, November 19th, 2023. Less than 2 weeks to go. We will have the Facebook Nick's News page up. Or not the Facebook. That's already up. We'll have the YouTube Nick's News page up. So you can go there as well to catch replays, and I'm going to make shorts out of it, and because there's always fun little things that go on in these. Yeah, I'll just have to make sure I have my alerts set up properly too. So, but yeah, thank you all for the feedback on that. I will work harder to make sure that we're good on that. Yeah, I encourage participation. So if you feel so inclined, you can post suggestions for news brews, for shout outs, news quotes, and you can also suggest articles, good news for us to present on future episodes of Nick's News. If possible, I do appreciate a variety of articles sent in across our categories, and those categories again were science and technology, health and medicine, flora and fauna, aka plants and animals, and the wholesome notes that we like to end on. So that's about it. Just scream at me from the void. I'll try, Lily, I promise. Yeah, as always, thank you all again. I love you all so much, and have a great night. And I'm going to play us out